This game is pretty bare bones, with there only being 3 maps, 5 towers with 2 upgrades for each. But seeing as it is a 2007 free-to-play Flash game, it's pretty good. There is some fun to be had here, even though there isn't much content. And it is a great place to start a franchise. There's no music, so you'll constantly hearing the pop sound over and over. But overall, it's a pretty good tower defense game, despite being quite a bit harder than its predecessors. Also, the tac shooter is OP. Overall, I rate this game Dart Monkey out of Red Balloon. Pretty good for a first game. Bloons Tower Defense 2 was released later in 2007. It ended up being mostly the same. It adds in 1 new tower, the Boomerang Monkey, and 2 new road obstacles, glue and spike tags. Both would later see their own towers. This game is mostly an updated version of BTD1, so I really wouldn't call it a sequel. But despite that, it's still the fun balloons you've seen before. The game is also harder, even though most towers cost less and you get more lives. This is probably because of the introduction of lead and rainbow balloons, with lead needing a cannon to pop them, and rainbow splitting it into 2 white balloons and 2 black balloons. Diversity at its finest. For some reason, I was not able to beat this game, probably because I'm bad at tower defense games, but I still do enjoy playing it when I wasn't dead. I rate this one a tac shooter out of a yellow balloon. Bloons Tower Defense 3 was released a year later in 2008, and is by far the most polished game out of the original trilogy. It follows the trend of basically being an updated version of the previous game, but has the most content and is more balanced than any of the previous games. It is definitely the easiest game so far, but that doesn't stop it from being fun to play, because there's still certainly fun to be had. For new features, this game adds quite a few. 2 new towers, the catapult and the monkey beacon. It added ceramics and Moabs, so now the strength of balloons doesn't just have to be in the quantity. You can now switch to the targeting of towers, which is a pretty important addition. There are also 4 different upgrades for each tower, as well as some of the upgrades changing the appearance of the tower. This game also has 8 different maps, with you being able to pick the difficulty in each of them. So far, this is the best game, just by the amount of content in it. It seems like these games just keep getting better and better. Interestingly enough, this was the first BTD game to come out on a mobile device. I rate this one a Super Monkey out of Moab. Bloons Tower Defense 4 came out a year after in 2009 and marked a big change in the Bloons franchise. It was the first game to have music. It was also the shift to the modern style of balloons you may recognize, not to mention it sold over 1 million copies on iOS. This game added a ton of new features as well as changing a lot. First, there are no longer 2 upgrade paths to pick from, only 1. However, each path still has 4 different upgrades. They also switched to an experience-based progression system, so you would unlock more towers and upgrades as you played. They also completely changed the art style, so no more clumps of balloons, just single file lines from now on. This game added 8 different towers, with those being Mortar, the Glue Gunner, this tower is pretty broken, the Monkey Ace, the Monkey Buccaneer, the Monkey Apprentice, the Banana Farm, the Dartling Gun, and the Spike Factory. For balloons, they added BFBs, camos, and zebra balloons. They also had tons of new maps, and even new modes like Sandbox, Apocalypse, and Deflation. Up to this point, this was definitely the definitive way to play balloons, and despite all these changes and additions, it was still the same game at heart. This game is way more fun than all the previous ones. I found myself playing it a lot more when preparing for this video. I rate this game a glue gunner out of a ceramic. Bloons Tower Defense 5 is a perfected version of Bloons Tower Defense 4. It was released a year after the iOS version in 2011, and this game just does everything right. They simplified the art style to make it more appealing. This game also has a ton of content, and it's just simply fun to play. If you want to play a Flash BTD game, go play this one right now. It won't let you down. On top of it being the best Flash BTD game, it's probably the best Flash tower defense game. The only tower they added to this game is the monkey sub. So what makes this game so different? Well, there are now 8 different upgrades for each tower, with you being able to use 6 at a time. You can upgrade both paths up until level 2, and when you do, you need to choose a path to upgrade to level 3. Once you choose your path, you can't change it. This makes the game a lot more deep, and actually requires you to think about what upgrades would be ideal for the current situation, instead of just spamming glue gunners. The addition was great, and it's what really separates Bloons from all the other tower defense games, other than its monkey theme. I've spent tons of time playing this game when I should have been doing schoolwork, so trust me when I say this is the best Flash BTD game out there. I honestly couldn't see how they would be able to improve it. I rate this one a monkey sub out of a camo pink. Well, they made it better. It was released a whole 6 years after BTD 5, and it shows. This game is the best tower defense game I've ever played. They heard you like cross paths from BTD 5. Well, they added an entirely new path. That makes for a total of 15 unique upgrades per tower, almost double what was in BTD 5. Not to mention they completely overhauled the graphics, and now every monkey has a 3D model. This means there's now a Z-axis in my monkey balloon popping game. They also added 2 new towers, the Alchemist and the Druid, as well as bringing the Heli-Pilot and Engineer over from BTD 5 Deluxe. Both new towers are incredibly unique and are a great addition to have in the game. Probably the biggest addition to this game was Heroes. You can now place down a monkey that scales with your progression in the game by leveling up, and has a few abilities to use too. Not to mention there are tons to choose from. This game is also both the easiest and hardest BTD game out there. Because of all the difficulty settings to choose from, there are just so many features and new mechanics that this game feels like a paid game, and well, that's because it is. But if you enjoy tower defense games, I highly recommend picking it up. It's a BTD game I've spent the most hours on undoubtedly, and it's the one I play most often. It often goes on sale for only $1 on Steam, which is honestly a great price. You can very easily get your dollar's worth from this game, so if you see it on sale, why not pick it up? Also, the multiplayer in this game is pretty great. Not to mention Ninja Kiwi is also constantly updating the game and show no signs of slowing down. Truly the greatest tower defense game out there. I rate this one an Alchemist out of a BAD. Best game in the series. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.